The course that I teach is entitled Britishness and Music. By now you may have noticed that our MA program endeavors to explore as many facets of Britishness as possible, and some of them are expected because of the cultural studies label, such as civilization, politics. Some are expected because of our philology profile in the department, such as literature or criticism or mentalities. I think that music and fine arts are the spices of this MA program, and they give a special flavor. I think everybody would agree that Shakespeare embodies Britishness. He's an icon. Therefore, the kernel of this course of lectures is formed of 6 plays by Shakespeare. I can say that many of our students are happy that during the last semester of their MA studies, because this course is scheduled for the last semester, they have to read a bit less new literature, and they are happy to go back to something that they have already read, or at least most of them. Therefore, they can focus on preparing their graduation paper, but they can also enjoy something new. If the literature part is already known by most of them, there is a lot of novelty in this course. Because this is essentially a course on adaptation. Adaptation nowadays is not only topical, not only endeared as a field, but also very fashionable, I can say. We focus on the adaptation of these 6 plays into opera, into semi-opera, which is a uniquely British species that has become extinct nowadays, into incidental music, which means music for the theatre, for the theatrical stage, and also into musical. Most of our students are at their first encounter with music. They have not studied music, so our studies are not musicological, so do not be afraid. You are not going to be expected to sing, and I'm not even going to sing to you. What we are mainly concerned with is the adaptation from the play into the libretto, namely from the literary text of the play to the literary text of the musical work. Some of these composers are British, English, 3 of them are English: Henry Purcell, Benjamin Britten, and Ralph Vaughan Williams. One is even Romanian, another one is a naturalized British subject, Felix Mendelssohn, and the others are Italian, French, German, and American. So I think it is very important that this course stresses the internationalization of Britishness and the fact that Shakespeare crosses national boundaries through adaptation into music. Nevertheless, by watching video versions of these adaptations, students can realize how the means germane to music, such as melody, harmony, vocal virtuosity, orchestration, and all these other elements of music contribute to the adaptation. And they will realize that tension, conflict, dramatism, lyricism, humor can also be heard, not only seen, not only described through words. So now there is a whole set of expressions which had before been conveyed solely through literary means. This is a course on adaptation which shows how the cultural context, with its social, political, religious details, influences, impacts the new creation, this new remediation. So, for instance, if some of you have felt at some point that Hamlet is too gruesome, that it boasts an unnecessarily large number of dead characters, you can join our class and be happy to see a version of Hamlet who does not die, who lives another day to rule Denmark to its glory. And you can also find out that, for instance, West Side Story, which I'm sure many of you already know very well, is an appropriation of Romeo and Juliet, which I think some of you may not have known. After having taught this course for about a decade now, I can happily say that many of my students at the end of this course are winners, because what they take away with them from this class is not just something they have learned, not just some critical essays, not just some videos they have watched. They earn a lifelong love of a domain that many had never known before, or that many had thought they disliked. They discover classical music, they discover musical, they discover how a literary story can be retold through music. And I think that they fall in love, and it's like watching the world with two eyes when before they had watched it with one. Last but not least, I think it can be great fun, and it can be quite a pleasure. So I think laughter and enjoyment and leisure are therapeutic, so please don't miss this chance.